John Capobianco joins me right now because he is a senior partner with FleishmanHillard HighRoad. That company is a global, worldwide PR public affairs company. And I want to put the question to you because you deal with people around the world. I deal with some people around the world. And I get off and they said, you know, your prime minister is a joke. The former prime minister of Australia wrote a book saying he's a joke. You know, you hear from other politicians that he's a lightweight. And so I want you to tell the audience, what you perceive to be the image of our prime minister, and also how that's impacted Canada around the world.
You know, I think that when you look at it from a different perspective, so if you look at it from a business perspective, and as you said, my firm is global. So when I talk to my global colleagues about Canada, they will say, you know, we're an important country, we're an important part of the global economy. But when you talk to political people and those that see the global aspect in a different light, they're not so impressed. And I think what happened was the Prime Minister probably started on a good foot with respect to the global side of it, but then over the course, the whole thing about hope and opportunity, not only domestically but internationally, but that flopped. You know, there was a number of issues that he's faced over the course of his term as Prime Minister, and in India and other places where he just missed the boat on with respect to the messaging, and with respect to the actual defense spending, and the fact that he made an announcement recently, Stephen, about the fact that we're not going to be able to keep our commitment on that. Some of the other G7 countries are calling us, you know, are just not giving us any of the respect that we need and we want, and that's a problem. So we've deteriorated on how we're seen internationally.
Well, that's also in security because we are no longer the full partners of the United States and Britain and Australia with the Five Eyes. But how does that impact? Because I've heard as well from some businessmen, they say people don't, and companies don't want to invest in Canada because they may not get the approvals, or it takes 10 or 15 years to get the approvals that you need. Are you seeing that Canada is diminishing in business because of the fact that people just don't trust the government?
Well, and they also see, you know, internationally, they see what we're up to and what we're facing against, and especially our economic problems and some of those issues that are being faced. And I think they pulled back on some of that. And we've seen a lot of that, even from some of my colleagues worldwide, where they see that in Canada, you know, they kind of avoid us or they don't use us in a way that they would normally have used us in the past. Yeah. I think Prime Minister Stephen Harper gave us such a lift internationally when he was Prime Minister. And I think that went a long way to getting us more business and more international attention. And now what we're seeing is some of the G7 countries doing deals amongst themselves and leaving Canada out of it.
You mentioned Harper, in 2015, when Trudeau became Prime Minister, he was denigrating Harper and saying Harper had, you know, ruined Canada around the world, and Canada's back.
Yeah, well,
and Canadians bought it.
His perspective of what he saw was wrong. Stephen Harper elevated Canada internationally.
That's the final word. 3 minutes. John Capobianco, thank you. This country needs bold and fearless discussion of the issues that are confronting it. And the Trudeau government is censoring the news and paying other news providers. So we need to keep going. Please subscribe and please donate generously. The crew needs to be paid.